What up, though, y'all? Welcome to Chronicles with Mocha, y'all. So, I'm on my way to take care of some business as I do. Alright? And I just got a pet peeve that I want to kind of talk about for my people that's on the spiritual journey. I just want to give everybody just a little bit of advice, if I may, to not allow other people to tell you what you consciously and subconsciously should and should not be doing according to how you communicate with your ancestors. Okay? I just watched somebody's live earlier. A whole live about how people are stupid and, how people don't know what they're doing and people keep messing with the moon and how people shouldn't be posting their altars and all this type of stuff. Let me tell y'all something. This is the same people like that are the main people out here talking about they got classes for $100 and all that. If they're conscious, according to their ancestral calling, is telling them not to do certain things, then that's their walk. That's their walk. Everybody's walk is different in this path. And people can't come out of religion and understand that this ain't the same thing. People can't come out of religion and come out of them old ancient ways of thinking and understand to quit judging people because it don't agree with your paradigm. This is not what this walk is all about. A spiritual journey is a personal walk with that person and their ancestors and their spiritual calling and their culture. And whatever their ancestors' personal culture was may be different from the next. You know what I'm saying? That's like telling somebody it's healthy to eat this and it's healthy to eat that. It's healthy for you to eat it. That don't mean it's going to agree with the next person's body. Your blood type determines what your body can and cannot handle, and what's good and what's not good for your body. Spirituality is the same way. Your DNA factors, your ancestors and their cultural beliefs and practices determines what's for you and what's not nobody else. Now, for the people that is a little more advanced or a little bit more in with wisdom and insightfully tapped in, we are here to help people to find their own direction in this. We ain't here to take them by the hand and pull them the way we think they should go. And that's a little annoying when I see people doing that. Like, who the fuck are you to think you can judge what other people do? That's so religious to me. And they be the main people sitting here contradicting themselves, talking about how they see people claiming to be spiritual, but then they talking about God and the Bible. But some of y'all do the same thing. You come on here judging people about how they're taking their spiritual walk. That's none of your business. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Just because your ancestors told you don't put your shit on Facebook, or you don't know why somebody else's ancestors is telling them to do that. You don't know what somebody else's ancestors is doing behind the scenes. They may somebody else's ancestors may be communicating with somebody's ancestors, and they may encourage them or motivate them to do that. So the person they're trying to reach might see it, and those two people can connect. But if y'all sitting up here listening to people trying to overtalk what's in your subconscious of how you're telepathically communicating with your higher self, your higher conscious, your God conscious, and your ancestors, you would never accomplish the full extent of your ascension that you're trying to go. This is a personal journey. Personal. If my ancestors tell me to take a picture and do something, then I'm going to do what my higher conscious is leading me to do. Do you think I give a damn what somebody else's opinion is about what I do, what me and my ancestors talk about? They don't know what the hell me and my ancestors is talking about. They don't know. So, of course, if you're on the outside looking in, people may tend to be like, why she say that or why she do that? Because that's what I was led to do. And it's not for you to understand because it wasn't for you to get the message. The message or whatever my ancestors intended for it to do, it wasn't for you. But all this judgmental stuff, people out here judging folks because, thinking they know everything because they done read 2 books and got something from a great-grandmother. Shut your ass up. Shut up. Because in this spiritual journey, ain't nobody never gonna figure this shit all out. I learned stuff. Let me tell you something. When I have seances with people, which is mediumship readings, which is when their ancestors tap into me and communicate to me, through me to them, they say shit I ain't never heard of. And I'm learning. Every time I do a seance, I learn something from somebody's ancestors. So how do some of y'all think that just because somebody in your great-grandmother, think you got all the fucking answers? This is a never learn. You don't graduate from spirituality. Guess what? Even when you ascend to your highest, to the highest place you can go, which is back into the quantum realm, you still ain't done. Because your ass is in a whole galaxy and you don't know what's next for you. Even if it's not coming back here, you don't know what's next for you. So don't nobody got all the answers. And one thing that's annoying as hell is for somebody to think they got all the fucking answers just because somebody do something that don't agree with their paradigm shift. I've had people come to me and say, well, do you think I should do this? And I asked them, what is your conscience telling you to do? Well, I felt like I should do that. I said, well, then that's what you should do. Because I cannot dictate what your ancestors are telepathically communicating to you. Now, I can tell you what's being said to me to relay to you, but what you do with that is, at that point, is your business. That ain't for nobody to judge. Y'all gotta stop that shit thinking you can judge somebody else's spiritual walk. Just because you think you a so-called teacher and a leader didn't do that. But quit trying to dictate how somebody else's communication with their ancestors and their culture and their practice and their ways is, because it's not yours. That's very religious. And I don't think nobody got a right to try to talk about religion when you bringing that same stank-ass attitude onto another paradigm shift and thinking that you're also righteous and correct about how you talk to people and how you're communicating with. I had somebody earlier said, I said, well, he said, people always ask me, what books did you read? He said, I tell them I didn't read any. I said, okay, you're being divine. Sometimes you are divinely guided. And what you learn is not in books. This motherfucker had the nerve to say, oh, if you think the divine and you self-taught, that's you dumb. I was like, do he hear himself? Do he hear himself? I don't think he do. Let me get off his line. Because what I was talking about was, if your ancestors are leading you to do something, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to find that in a book. Because you're being guided by higher sources to do what you're doing. So people can't find certain things in books that may be knowledgeable to you because you're getting it from your ancestral or your spiritual calling. This motherfucker went from all the way into the slow bus and the short hat. Okay, I mean the short bus and the hard hat on Avenue with what I said, and went all off into something else, and I'm stupid, and I was just like, wow. But you call yourself a teacher and a spiritual leader. Y'all better watch out for people like that. I just did a reading about that. Watching out for scammers and people calling themselves shamans and high priestesses and sorcerers and all this bull stuff. And these are the same people that's telling you to pay them some money to teach you to be like them. I don't think so. Listen to your own higher damn calling. Go into meditation and find yourself, or seek out people who can really give you the guidance that you truly need. That can help you build your own backbone, not somebody telling you what you should and shouldn't be doing. No, because it don't work like that. This person said something, so y'all better leave that moon alone. Well, moon magic work for a lot of people. So just because it don't work for you, or you was taught that the moon was taboo, that don't mean that it's not going to work for other people. He was being so judgmental. And I was just looking at this like, this is some clown shit right here. But this same person talking all this junk about spiritual people, this and spiritual people, that. Judge, I mean, just like, I was just disgusted with that. So I just wanted to share my little pet peeve with y'all. You know, and there are a lot of very knowledgeable people out here that know a lot that's not in books. Everything ain't in a book. Some things is just natural when you get that connection between you and your divine sources. But don't let nobody tell y'all what your higher conscious and your communication with your ancestors is, because it's not theirs. Because I'm not going to tell nobody, oh, you need to eat apples every day, and then apples make them sick. Okay, their body can't take. Some people can't eat greens. Some people can't even eat bananas. Some people can't have certain shit. So who am I to try to force something on somebody because it works for me? That's ignorant. And if you're a true spiritual person, your discernment is going to have you on a whole nother plateau when you're dealing with people and their own genuine spiritual path. You're not going to push your opinions on people. You're going to give them only what's being delivered to you through your ancestors, their ancestors, and divine sources. Then when you start putting your opinion on top of shit, it's when you start missing the mark of what you're supposed to be doing. So on that note, that's all I had to say. Stay on key, y'all. Don't get all off into this opinionated stuff. Because all this other stuff is people opinions versus the actual knowledge or guidance or message that you need to have. Sometimes we can get the two of swords. That two of swords, we can get blurred lines with that. But make sure y'all are paying close attention to where you can discern the difference between the two. And on that note, that's all I got to say. She out. Peace.